So I want to introduce someone that you probably don't know. But before you do that, we have carts of champagne coming around. So don't spill it. Don't drink it until we tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Cotton.
Wow, the view really is different from here. Look at all those beautiful people. And I am thrilled and honored to be here, but to have to follow Bob Yost. I thought I was going to cry when I did this for Carrie. I was crying after Bob's. And Jeff, you'll always be my number one, man, always. And Michael, what a beautiful poem you gave us. Thank you so much. So some of you may have heard this rumor that Mr. Kerry Oshins is retiring. I want to believe it's a rumor. I'm not happy about it. I don't feel like I was consulted properly about it. I've done what I can to prevent it. Hasn't really worked very well. Kerry's worked for the USCC, and for those of you who don't know Kerry, which is hard to believe most of you don't, have seen Kerry, talked to Kerry, read one of his papers, taken one of his classes, asked him for something at the conference. Kerry worked for the USCC and CREF for almost 15 years, maybe a little more. He was pivotal for so many programs. And I guess I was going to save this for later, but I've been coming to this conference for about 20 years. And it's interesting that we had 1,480. My first conference in 1999, we had 80. No 180. Just 80. Now we have 1,480, at least. And I'm not suggesting that any one person had a lot to do with that. That was all of us. That's a village. It took a village. It takes a village. It's been impressive. A lot of people have worked really hard to make this what it is. But Kerry had an awful lot to do with that as well. I'm going to show a short video. We asked some of Kerry's friends to share some moments. This might work.
We have had the honor and the privilege to be working with Kerry Oshins and the U.S. Composting Council since 2012. And I first met Kerry, and he was so sweet because he was managing the whole event basically, on his own, but he took 5 minutes to sit down with me by the swimming pool. We just connected eye to eye, heart to heart. And I said, I want to help. And we've had a lot of great journeys together and things that we had to deal with as a small group over the years. And somehow Kerry and I made it happen.
I'm a longtime friend of Kerry Oshins. I'm really happy to contribute to this tribute of Kerry. He's been a good friend over the years. I've known Kerry for a long time. This is a picture of Kerry's childhood home. I remember the day they brought him home from the hospital. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't known Kerry that long. In actuality, I probably met Kerry sometime in the 1990s. Then we got to know each other quite a bit better when I moved from Idaho to Pennsylvania in 1999. We were waiting to close on the house we just purchased, and because we needed a place to stay, we decided that we could camp nearby and do pretty well. And Kerry was nice enough to lend us his camping gear. And Kerry conducted a brilliant set of training courses in Pennsylvania for PROP, the Pennsylvania Recycling Organization. And he asked me to help teach with him on that. And we did that together in many locations in Pennsylvania. So then he went off to California. And I consider Kerry one of the most competent people I've ever met in any field. This is what I wish for Kerry in his retirement. This is his element. And I'm sure he'll spend a lot of time in the outdoors, enjoying himself with Beth and his family.
So I first met Carrie in person somewhere around, I think it was 1991. We were running a biocycle conference in Burlington, Vermont, and it was the end of the day, and my daughter was along. And so she and I were standing at the registration desk, and Carrie walked over and introduced himself, and then asked my daughter what her name was. And my daughter said, Hannah. You must be Hannah, the friend she keeps talking about. And so that was actually how we really kicked off knowing each other, was our families became good friends. Our daughters remain best of friends 30 plus years later. Once Carrie joined the council, obviously our paths crossed that way. And Carrie always, it has just been comfortable, all aspects of what he does, his personal life, his family life, his work life. He's just relaxed and, tends to go with the flow, and he is an amazing chef. I haven't had something Carrie's cooked in a really long time, so maybe I can drop that as a hit.
Hey, Carrie, congratulations on your retirement. I know it's been decades since we've seen one another, but that doesn't at all diminish the profound impact that you have had on my life. You are the best. You have lived a life and are living a life filled with purpose and intent, and anyone who knows you is better for it. Good luck in your retirement. Love you and miss you, and do good things. Take care.
I had been involved in the composting industry since the mid 1990s. We're kindred spirits, and organizing a 5-day short course. We co-taught that course for a number of years. He's just a born educator, he just has a way of putting people at ease, not talking down to folks. He was really good at just not judging, breaking it down, making it easy for people to really get the concepts.
I first met Carrie as long ago as his very first conference. My first impression of Carrie was, yay, this young, wet behind the ears, enthusiastic composter is going to contribute greatly to the U.S. Composting Council. Carrie had envisioned a gathering in Northern California where we were going to bring all the compost enthusiasts into one building. And we anticipated hundreds of people. I think dozens came. We learned that we have to stop thinking that everyone's as enthusiastic about composting as we are. And the highlight, though, and I actually found this must be 20 years old, but the Compost Mountain Boys Bluegrass Band was who Carrie recruited from Humboldt County to come play for the evening entertainment. And I'm telling you, we got to get these guys back again. Apparently they are still playing. And so I wish him very well. I wish he would continue to attend the conferences, so that remains. And in retirement, maybe he might have enough time to actually garden.
So as I mentioned, I've been coming to this conference for a long time, 20 years or so. It's hard to believe we didn't always have a world-class, well-attended, professional composting conference like this. Got an equipment demo coming up. It's hard to believe we didn't always have a world-class training program that, I'll get to that in a second. I got that order, damn it. It's hard to believe we didn't always have a world-class training program. Did you guys notice I rewound? No, it's good. 12 years, hundreds of students, 8 states in the time of my life, Carrie. Thank you for that. It's hard to believe we didn't always have the biggest, baddest demo day in the world. This is not Carrie's strength, but he does it anyway with style and aplomb and a lot of help from a lot of people. He's a gifted teacher, as all have said. We've taught. So, how many people in here have taken a class from Carrie, learned from Carrie? A couple. It's not everybody, Carrie, which is why you really can't retire. There's a couple we didn't get. Look at that attention to detail. So happy to teach anybody so much at any level. He is the world's biggest big tent guy. I'm reasonably certain. Again, I really want to make sure I don't. This organization was built by a lot of folks before and will be built by a lot of folks after. I don't want to overdo that. I know Carrie wouldn't want it that way, but I don't know that anybody had more to do with getting the community composting family to join us in this great big tent organization of ours than Carrie Oshins did. So, with that. He's a dedicated family man. We're incredibly lucky to have his wife, Beth, his children, the aforementioned friend of Hannah, Becca, Sam, Jacob, beautiful family, beautiful garden. Look at the garden. Look at the commitment to gardening. We don't do that stuff in California. We garden a lot, but not in that. What is that again? Is that actually my CDs, I think? I don't know. It's not really that hard to make Beth look short, but still. Dedicated gardener, committed family man. He is compostercarry.com. So finally, you've got your glass of champagne. I wanted to allow people on your tables is a form to help honor Carrie and his commitment to the work. The Carrie Oshins COTC Training Scholarship to financially assist people from attending the training. If you want to contribute, if you're feeling good about that, please give early and often. We will find you either way. And I hope all of you got a glass of champagne. Donated again by my pretend girlfriend, Kathy Kellogg. So please join me in a toast. Carrie Oshins. All right, wait a second. Wait a second. Let's join me in a toast to my good friend, Carrie Oshins. Come on, Carrie. There you go, there you go. There you go. Should be a while. Sit over here. Have a seat over here.
So, those of you that were at the celebration last night, I think you heard me say, I had quite a bit of bourbon in me, but, yep. Carrie is a teacher. That's what he is at heart, and that's what he loves doing, and that's what he's great at. And we wouldn't have a compost operator training program if it wasn't for Carrie. When he first came on board with the USCC, he was a contractor for a couple of years. And I know we kept pushing, the board kept pushing, we need a certification program, we need a training program, and these aren't easy things to do. I remember he volunteered me for the Professional Credentials Committee, the PCC. That is no longer an acronym. We don't need to put that on the list. So, but of all the years that I've worked with Carrie, and Carrie has worked for the council, he has been an outstanding employee, and he's also done a lot of work for the foundation. So, honoring him tonight, Carrie, we hate to see you go, but I know you're still going to stay in the industry. So this is a plaque that we're presenting to Carrie, in honor of your dedication and years of loyal service to the council and the foundation, with distinguished honor. Yeah. Now, is this bourbon? Okay. We are proud to present this award to your exemplary service, unwavering dedication to the composting industry, Carrie Oshins. A time to look back. Sorry, I'm an emotional guy. In admiration, a time to look forward with anticipation. Best wishes and congratulations to your retirement. Sit down. Are you able to talk yet? Not yet. I'm much better at comedy. There's rumors that when Carrie retires, he is creating a syrup company. He's going to be a syrup mogul. Oh, God. So in honor of what Carrie has done over the years, we have to do something really, really big, right? So Carrie is on the billboard outside right now. So if you kids, you want to take pictures, this is the time to do it, right? This is affectionately known as the used car salesman picture of Carrie. Okay, now you can talk.
If I should die before I wake, all my bone and sinew take. Put me in a compost pile to decompose me for a while. Worms, water, sun will have their way, returning me to common clay. All that I am will feed the trees, the plants, the fishes in the seas. When radishes and corn you munch, you'll be having me for lunch. And then excrete me with a grin. Chortling, there goes Carrie again. So, you've heard a lot of dates thrown out here. 1991, 1999 seems to have been a big one, 1991. Well, it was 1985, 86. I was working as a high school science teacher because I didn't know what else to do. And I needed to get a master's in order to stay certified in New York State. So I started going to interesting sounding conferences. And one of them was about the solid waste crisis. How many here remember the solid waste crisis? A few of us, we're not OPs, we're MPs, we're mature professionals. And there was a professor there from St. Lawrence named Paul Konitz. Some of you may know him, who went on to help found the GAIA, the Global Anti-Incinerator Alliance. And he held up a bag of earth-grow compost. And he was talking about how these people were taking leaves out of landfills and making compost and selling it as to gardeners. And that was the light bulb that went off. That was like, I want to see more of that happen. And so I've spent a better part of my career doing that. Years earlier, when I was an ecology undergrad and a hippie gardener, I had learned that a healthy ecosystem has to recycle its nutrients. And that idea that composting is the chief technology for nutrient recycling and is core to a sustainable society. That has kept me motivated through all my various jobs at Rodale Institute, at Lehigh County with the Professional Recyclers of Pennsylvania, and in Garnique Landscaping, where I first got to get really dirty doing Filtrex type installations, and now with the council for the last 15 years. When I was at Cornell, I learned about policy and working with stakeholders and overcoming barriers and been applying all those lessons now for these past 35 years. And it has been such a privilege for these last 15 to be here at the council and with the foundation. It's been a great ride. But certainly, of all the things that I've been part of, it's been the establishing and the creating, the implementing of the compost operations training course that you saw over 1,000 people, well over 1,000 people now have taken that course. And so it is really an honor. I have cried every time they've told this to me, that they've establishing a scholarship in my name. I can't believe it. And so I do hope that you all give to that. And you saw how many of you have been. If you've been to a COTC, and many of you have, you know that every day I wear a different compost t-shirt. Now, most of those compost t-shirts are commercially available, but there's one that I have never worn to a COTC because it is a one of a kind. And it was created by my 3 children who are here today. I had been, for some reason or other, roadkill composting was a thing that was just introduced, and I was promoting it in Lehigh County. Somehow it got picked up. We put out a press release on this, and it got picked up by AP Wires. And so I got interviewed on the national radio of Canada about this program. And so they created this shirt for me, and I have to show you. Yeah, no one else can claim to be the roadkill compost king. I do have a roadkill compost queen. I don't know if Jean's here, but Jean Bontel would be the queen. So at the beginning, I read you a poem. That poem was by Lee Hayes of the Weavers. The Weavers was the group that Pete Seeger was first part of, and Lee Hayes was part of that. So I'd like to read you a second poem. It's not really about composting, but it very much is inspiring, and it's about all of you. I'll just read an excerpt. It's by Marge Piercy, called To Be of Use. I love the people who harness themselves, an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who do what has to be done again and again. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the fields to harvest, who work and row and pass the bags along, who are not parlor generals and field deserters, but move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire put out. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust. But the thing worth doing well done has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn are put in museums, but you know they were made to be used. The pitcher cries for water to carry, and a person for work that is real. Well, what is more real than making compost? So with that, I hope that you contribute to the scholarship, that you help us train and educate future composters. And I'll leave you with this last thought. Composting may not save the world, but we can't save the world without compost. Thank you.